Jump Ario would say hi Joe. Jump Ario would say hi Joe. Sin han suri the jump Ari. Jump Ario would say hi Joe.
Native American women have been breastfeeding their children for centuries. Elders from San Lucy Village recently gathered together to discuss this traditional value and its importance for our people. Shondine and Justin Begay are expecting their first child, and Shondine has chosen to breastfeed.
And by giving him this opportunity to have breast milk, which is what nature intended for our children, is the best way to start out.
Ani homok ta mamat, ani was asichot ka ka mamat. Ka mo masom ta mas apo tak ari pia mum kot. Ada mo pip chui kyu.
I was told by my great-grandmother that that was the best thing to do, was to breastfeed your child so that they'd be healthy.
I decided to breastfeed because my grandmother told me that breastfeeding would be the best way to go to keep the child healthy and to keep our tradition strong and our beliefs strong.
The other day I went out to the main reservation and I noticed this one girl that just had a baby and she was breastfeeding her baby, and I was really proud to see that.
A long time ago, the women didn't have bottles. They didn't have the formula around here. And the kids at that time, they seemed to be a lot stronger and healthier. Nowadays, the formula's in, and a lot of kids are coming down with all kinds of sickness. And my grandmother's, believed very strongly that it needed to be to where a woman would breastfeed her child.
Our traditional reliance on breastfeeding is still the healthiest option for our children. In some tribes, up to half of our population suffers from diabetes. Obesity is one of the causes of diabetes. Breastfeeding lowers the risk that our babies will suffer from these conditions as adults.
What's been exciting to find out, especially among our Native American population, is that how breastfeeding can actually reduce the chances of that infant developing diabetes or obesity later on in that infant's life. So certainly what happens when a mom breastfeeds, they will lower the risk of their infant getting diabetes and becoming obese. We know for sure that when women breastfeed their babies, some of the mom's antibodies can actually cross into the baby that provides them protection against infections of the ear, respiratory infections, and even gastric infections that the baby might develop. But by far all means, I encourage moms to try to breastfeed even longer than the year as the baby develops.
It will be good, like I said, the health benefits to help with diabetes that runs in my family.
My grandma had it too. She had diabetes and stuff, so I'm glad that he's breastfeeding because it does decrease the diabetes.
But in order to provide her baby with all the health benefits of breastfeeding, a pregnant woman must have regular prenatal checkups and avoid using drugs and alcohol.
Moms should not breastfeed if they've been diagnosed with AIDS or HIV. Because of the risk of transmission of the HIV to the baby. Other times that they shouldn't breastfeed is they have active liver types of diseases. In these cases, a mom should certainly talk to their doctor before they decide they want to breastfeed.
Another benefit of breastfeeding is that it creates a special bond between mother and child.
You just get that bond. That's what I like the most about it. It's a real special, intimate way to just share with your baby.
When I'm sitting here breastfeeding her, I just think about the times when she was first born, when she was inside me, and how she's grown so fast.
It's a wonderful feeling. It makes me feel good to know that I'm giving them a gift, the only gift I can give them when they're little. And I feel proud of it. I feel very proud of it.
Women can choose to breastfeed even if they return to work or to school. Shondine is a student at Arizona State University, and she also has a part-time job.
I'm lucky to have a really good support person, my husband, who's already willing to help around the house. He's gonna be Mr. Mom.
I feel that breastfeeding should be encouraged in the workplace. Just because you go back to work doesn't mean that you shove your baby off to the side and let them be bottle fed by other people. You still have an active part of that child's life. Even if you are pumping at home and leaving a bottle for them at the nursery, in that case, they're still getting mom's milk, and it's the best.
Some of the solutions are maybe for employers to become more informed about the benefits of breastfeeding, that it does help reduce employee absenteeism.
Ina Beach is a community nutrition specialist and a lactation counselor for the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community. She breastfeeds Zale, her 7-month-old son, at work.
The people here have a lot of support for me coming to work with Zale, and I'm really glad that I don't have to feel embarrassed about nursing Zale anywhere. That he feels comfortable and the people around us feel comfortable.
Well, I think breastfeeding in the workplace is, for most infants, easy to accomplish, at least in an office environment. I think for mothers who want to pump at the workplace and store their milk, privacy is a big issue, and certainly a place where they can pump in privacy and refrigerate their stored milk. But these are simple things to accomplish, I think, at most work sites.
It is much more beneficial to partially breastfeed than not to breastfeed at all. But the maximum benefits to you and your child come from breastfeeding 100% of the time.
I use a pump to get my milk for him when I'm away, because I don't like him to be formula fed at all. Try to stay away from that as much as possible.
Even though it gets difficult at times and it seemed like it'd be best to just revert to bottle feeding and not have to, go home or, pump, it's worth the effort just to spend that time with your child. The time goes by so fast, and even if you spend a year with breastfeeding a child, it makes a lot of difference, I think, for both of you.
Good afternoon, Community Health Service.
Returning to work or continuing with school is a barrier to breastfeeding that can be overcome. Some women report other difficulties with breastfeeding, but these too can be overcome.
For the beginning of breastfeeding after a baby's born, to me, I feel it's kind of hard because the milk takes its time to come in, and I kind of get frustrated because I feel like I'm not giving anything for my baby to eat. But I just keep on putting him to the breast, and eventually, the beginning of the milk will come in. So I continue, just keep on going. I don't stop.
If for some reason the moms are getting discouraged and the breastfeeding is not going as well as they ought, they should not give up. They should talk to their doctor, talk to their health educator, talk to a breastfeeding educator to try to see what the problems may be, because I think that once they get the breastfeeding underway and the baby has latched on, I think both mom and baby will find the best types of benefits.
There's a lot of positives for the baby as far as even intelligence and health-wise. And then for the mother, there's benefits too. It benefits the mother regaining her figure back to her original weight, which is always something to look forward to after you have a baby.
Breastfeeding is very convenient. I don't have to deal with bottles and formula. Whenever she needs food, I just give it to her.
Our partners, families, and friends can be an important source of help and support.
Breastfeeding is something that I can't do, that men can't do, but I think we can be a part of it by being supportive.
My mother gave me support to breastfeed. She also helped me the first couple of weeks because it was hard for me. She stayed here and she came in the middle of the night when he would be crying and just telling me to keep trying. You know, when I wanted to give up or give him formula, she just convinced me to keep trying.
Donna and Jay are expecting their 5th child. Donna is planning to breastfeed as she did with her last 2 children.
I encourage it. Initially, I was, like a lot of other people, misinformed, underinformed maybe is the best word. But through her job and her sharing some of the information she's learned, I encourage it. I think it's natural, it's healthy.
Royce Manuel is a firefighter in the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community. His 6-year-old daughter was breastfed for 2 years.
My mother had breastfed most of us. There were 5 boys and 5 girls in our family, and nearly every one of them was breastfed. So for me, it was such a natural thing, and I always thought that it should have been done, and so I never questioned it at all.
Mama menyup cuma ke nya mama mata bawa de mama. Pite cuma to o si to de patui.
We're losing our language, our custom, traditions, and heritage. Most of the youth right now, when you talk to them about those things, they know what tribe they are, but they can't relate to what custom, tradition, heritage are, or what native food there are.
It is very important because you're looking at the future. You look at the future for their health. You're looking at the future for their leadership.
In addition to nourishing them physically, breastfeeding nurtures our children spiritually, because when we breastfeed, we honor our native values. For more information, call toll-free the Breastfeeding Helpline at 1-877-868-9473.